got over that though.
I got over that.
You came to the UK at age 10?
Yes.
I think it will take time, but if over time it doesn't sort of abate and people don't move on to whatever next happens, then I have young children. I'm really going to have to think about their lives. And, you know, they can't live in a bubble in our house, not being able to go out and not being able to be part of society and have the freedom to live in Britain. And I would have to think what to do then. But if at that stage, the only solution is to leave the UK because of my family, then to me that would be the saddest day, because I love Britain and everything about Britain is about its inclusiveness, about its tolerance, about the great British way. It's about fair play. You know, around the world, Britain is seen as the country where, you know, even people say it's not the British way.
To make some money.
Stays.
Yeah.
Okay. The chambermaid.
When it comes to the anger, I'm not surprised, because everything to do with Brexit is so emotionally charged that it's almost become like a religion. It's, you know, I say being Catholic, I can say that, you know, Catholics can criticize the Pope, but nobody else can. And it's a bit like that with Brexit. You know, leavers can talk about it, but nobody else dare to talk about it, even if what you're talking about is something that's very sober and pragmatic and strategic. You're not allowed to talk about that. So I think the anger from that doesn't surprise me. What does surprise me is the level of sexual and racial violence that I've received, not just from social media, but letters, phone calls, emails to my staff, to our offices. This was a part of society I really thought that we had healed 20, 30, 40 years ago, but it seems we haven't.
Any of this?
Oh no, the old stuff about me living, my parents not being able to send money and going to chambermaid, and the only way I could survive.
You know, we've had cyber attacks on our business websites. We've had to make different arrangements for the children and school. I don't go anywhere. I don't go out. So it's turned into a poison chalice, if you like. But I'm still determined that I were carrying on with this, because I feel that if I didn't do it, then nobody would be asking the questions I'm asking. And we cannot have all the people who, you know, banged on the table and went on and on about parliamentary sovereignty. I mean, they should be ashamed of themselves and allowing the press and the politicians to carry on like this, because I'm actually fighting for the thing that they wanted.
Any walk of life, we even sports, we even play cricket, rugby. I mean, it was all,
I think they've been cowards, because they've let me take the case, which gave them time to think about what they wanted to do. But what I'm really angry about is the fact that when we won in the High Court, surely that gave them the legal certainty and it gave them an area to have a conversation and to go forwards. But I've not heard from a single politician about the case. I mean, there is no discussion, there's no moving forwards. There still seems to be, to me, to be two camps politically. On one side we have the people who are misleading the public and still lying. And on the other side, you have ones who are being quite cowardly, thinking that, what will our constituents say? But I thought politics was about the people and what's best for our country. It was not about preserving their own self-interests and their power. So I'm really disappointed in them.
The Fleet Division, and so I got to know the family, and they were at the time looking to launch.
And they sort of muttered, and one of them said to the other, well, you know, you have a nickname in the city. And I thought, well, it's not going to be good, is it? So I thought, and of course I said, well, what is it? And they said, oh, we call you the Black Widow Spider. At which point I paused and I thought, well, that's wrong on so many levels. And then I thought, well, thank you, because that must mean I'm doing something right. Because nobody in the city has managed to come up with an intellectual argument as why I was wrong. And I have to say, it's very much the same here. People do not talk about the case and the central pillars of our arguments of our case. They attack me personally. And so I see it as, they have nothing else to do. They're not attacking the message, they're attacking the messenger, which must mean I'm winning.
I thought, you know,
No, because I'm my portfolio. I support 12 to 14 charities a year.
Ah, okay.
So,
Just that one somehow.
I just find it extraordinary.
I don't know, Gina. I don't know.